Ladies and gentlemen, you're most welcome back to the GMODISM channel. This is your host Eric, and an update to From the Depth has been dropped. So, in this little short video, I'll try to cover the most important things. There is an update note to this thing as well. It's 4.3.2, stable release. Big shout out to Odez. I know the guy, he's beautiful. Ships are amazing, and he finally has access to the sails he can use to make it look cool. Like, look at these sails, man. I won't be able to show you something this beautiful. Anyways, if you want to read this yourself, pause the video whenever to read this text, or go to the Steam news page in order to check this out yourself. If you would like to just get the text version, that's probably pretty useless that you're watching this video. But we're going to go through the most important things here, so if you rather want it in a video format, rest assured, we will indeed be helping you with that. A lot of fixes has been added, and that's absolutely beautiful. So, yeah. To read the faction news updates, you will have to go to the page and read them there. There is a lot of things to the factions that got fixed or changed. First out, we're gonna take a look at Sails 2.0, a new sail system basically. I'm gonna assume they work like the old ones, so just give me a bit, I'm gonna build a mast. So inside the water menu, you have the new sails. Main new sail. So you take a main new sail, and then you take sail attachment, and then you basically build your sail here. So we have 4 corners for this sail. We're gonna have a new sail here. We're gonna turn off symmetry plane like that. And then we're gonna do like this. Then we're gonna do like that. And then like this. And then we go to the sail and we click here. So here we have the new sails. We have advanced configuration. So we click create sail. And then we basically just click the corners like that. And right click when we're done, and we basically have a sail, and we go to the sail block main here, and we create a sail. So we click, come on, so we click there, there, and right click somewhere when we're done. So now we basically have done 2 sails like this, and we can configure these sails as well. So if we go to the sail, we can go. So here we have like the responses, and here we have emblem. So you can write in a URL here, and I'm basically taking one from GMODISM.com's resources. So we have a PNG, and it should hopefully then appear. Yeah, here we have a PNG. So we can shift it a little bit here. We can increase or decrease its size. We can possibly set it to a different color. I'm not sure. No, this is black. This is a black picture. So you would like to use a white picture if you want to have any color, basically. So I can make it like this. Now I can show you on this other sail here, which is a pretty cool thing. If you want kind of pristine looking shells, you will write in here #blank. And you get a super shiny surface like this. You can even set the alpha to make it a little bit more blank. And you can basically set it any color you want if you like to have it in a certain very pristine looking sail, you know. That will be instead of an emblem though. You can also adjust the sail color, and you can use the construct colors and something called alpha brightening, which looks very bright. Man, this is like emissive only. It's crazy. Anyways, there are customizations here. So if you wanted to furl in another direction, for example, you can just go in there and furl downwards, furl to the side, if your sail isn't the way you want to do too. So we also have some sail arc, so we can select the different arcs to really customize everything about the sail. You'll just have to play around with these to see what they do. Side arc, top arc, furled radius, We also have wind response, so we can have like fake wind. And we do also have the is decorative. If you want your sail to not really provide any force, maybe you wanted to use it as a roof, maybe for deco reasons, you click this box. Otherwise, they will provide some lifting. We have ripple scale and yeah, very many customizations. Yeah, we have this on a spin block. Let's see if sailing 1.0 works. Yeah, seems to be working fine to me. So now we can easily create some beautiful sailing boats and just use sailing 1.0 routine. Isn't that so easy? Just put it on a spin block and it knows what to do. That's how we like it. Speaking of AIs and behaviors, we have broadside 2.0. We now have a really cool thing where we can set it to always switch broadside by turning towards the enemy or always by turning away from the enemy. So basically, if you've been using broadside routine, you may have noticed it performs something like it's trying to switch targets. So when you basically have a broadside and you switch side when current firepower or when whole center of mass is off center basically, it will try to switch side to basically show the undamaged side to the enemy to fight really hard again. Well, now you can set it so that it will basically switch sides from the front or the back all the time, which will prevent it from eternally get stuck in chasing loops where it's trying to switch broadside and failing because the enemy is more maneuverable. Now, there is a fix for that. Now, in the prefab menu, you can save something that you think look really cool, but you don't want to save the decos. You go down here in the middle button, capture the prefab without any decorations, and then you can save the prefab without any decos. So if your prefabs usually have too many decos, you can, I guess, save them without decos if you would want this. The steam valve is no longer EMP susceptible. Finally, we can implement the steam valve into our engines to use it to turn on and off with ACB and stuff to make our engines efficient without creating a big safety hazard of basically making our entire steam engine EMP susceptible. Great! Yay for efficient steam engines. Finally, we can make them. I don't know when we're gonna use these, but you will find out very soon on empirical testing because I'm looking forward to this. Missile interceptors are now available in large. Isn't that very nice? Yay! Large missile interceptors. Yeah, they of course do tremendous amounts of damage. Will deal 70,000 damage to a huge missile. Oh, wow! Huge missiles have been nerfed by implementing large interceptors, man. I think I kind of missed this was a thing, but the bottom connection flamer can actually turn into all directions. It's basically a turret without needing a turret block, so that's cool, I guess. And you can also set it now in its full idle direction in this little menu here, so that's cool. Ships have been buffed by making heavy armor more buoyant. So now you need 3 blocks of alloy to offset 1 block of heavy armor. Before it was a lot more. I don't know how this works since the weight of the heavy armor is still the same as the weight of lead, but somehow for the same volume and the same weight, heavy armor is more buoyant than lead somehow. I mean, it's good. It's cool. It's just very weird from a physics standpoint of view, but this is from the depth, not real physics, just pretty realistic physics if, I don't know, the world air is soup and the water is, I don't know. Let's not think more about that. Next point. A random little block consisting of, well, a wooden block that is now apparently a vehicle can now hold 10 materials by default. Any vehicle, even if it doesn't have a storage material, even if it's just a block, thank you, can apparently hold 10 materials. So, yeah. Ooh, does that mean we can build functional miniature thing with 1 block less than we had to use before? Yes, it means that. Very nice. The full era block now costs the same as the sloped era block, but actually you should still use the half era block because it has half the weight. But yeah, era armor is now more expensive because the only era block we used was the half block because, you know, it was cheaper before. But now they're the same. Still, the slope block is lighter, so I mean. Water pumps, the thing that makes you floaty without, well, basically using empty space as flotation, apparently now lags less than it did before, which is very fantastic. However, if you're building really big ships, in my test, using air pumps still cause stuttering in large-scale battles. So it's good that they cause less lag than before, but, you know, they still kind of lag when you're talking about 2 million ships on larger scale. So yeah, it's still gonna be a recommendation to not use water pumps if you're building big ships. Maybe it can be fixed further in the future, but as of now, yes. Nice with an upgrade to make them less laggy, but they are not less laggy enough yet, at least. Interceptors are a bit nerfed, by the way. They apparently work at reduced ranges, so they are not as area of effect as they was before. Torpedoes, however, have been buffed because they are not slowed down when you damage them. So, wow, torpedoes are actually much more scary now. And now for the big kind of change. Railguns have been updated, and I'm sure you know this if you've been watching the empirical testing videos of testing each the, you know, updates as they came out. In any case, we now have a thing which is called Railgun barrels, which is pretty cool. So here we have Railgun barrels, and they come in different variants. Actually, I should up the gauge so you can see this. So here we have the Railgun barrel 4 meter. It basically looks like an APS barrel with a weird wrap around it. Well, looks very standard APS, no visual update here, it's the same style. Then we have variant, which is basically completely hollow, which is pretty cool. And then we have alt variant, which is kind of offset but hollow. Ah, man. Oh, it's open underneath it as well, so that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, you can't have it upside down, so, but I guess it's nice that we have variants. Yeah, so here they are, Railgun barrels. And they basically have stuff built in. Each rail adds energy, so if you have a railgun here, you can see, yeah, they add capacity. So basically, when you're using the railgun barrels, each of the railgun barrels has 7,000 here, and each magnet now provides 7,000. So each meter of railgun barrel basically equals to if you would have a magnet. So when you're using railgun barrels, you don't need railgun magnet attacher or magnets. You only need the railgun barrel. So now you can make you can make railguns a lot more compact. So here is some stuff I built with the new railgun barrels. A compact railgun, no magnets. Another type of railgun, no magnets. And a tiny diff railgun, which is actually a rail burst howitzer. It's completely crazy. So we can basically fire a burst here, yeah. Provided it's not using gunpowder, because then of course it will be not working very well. Right, and when we reload all, it should actually refill the rail charge as well, so that's really handy. Right. Right, pause there, and here you can see we did, oh, there we have it, the rail burst. So this little diff gun is very scary. If you get close to it, it will fire a swarm like that. This is also rail burst gun, and you can see when we're firing these, we only get the kind of rail effect. We can go in here and basically select. So here we have firing effects relative to gun, gunpowder effect only, railgun effect only, uses both. So you can change whatever you want. for some reason. You can set this to look like a gunpowder even though it's rail. For some reason, railgun barrels can be used as normal barrels as well. Here we're using like basically 1 energy to launch, and we're using a gunpowder shell. There we go! You can see it works. This is a gunpowder shell and it still fires from railgun barrels. That's what I wanted to show you. These are the updates, and of course updates to a lot of crafts and campaigns and stuff like that, but you'll have to read the notes for that. So I hope this was a little bit useful for you, and if it was, you should definitely subscribe. Liking the video helps a lot, and I want to say a big thank you all to those who are supporting the channel in the government of GMODISM, the ecclesiarchy of GMODISM, and the army of GMODISM's commissioned officers. Do check out the GMODIST channel here in the bronze as well, on the end screen, and you can get some more from the depth content. I have a lot of videos lined up that will be published there soon. This is your host Eric, and I'm signing out. Have a good one.